Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we have Spider-Man against Kang on Expert. So pull up a chair and let's see if he can do this. This is going to be a matchup today against Expert Kang. And I'm going to be doing it solo with Spider-Man. So this is only my second time playing Kang, first time against Expert. So this could be ugly, but this is how I like to play the game with one hero. I'm looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got everything shuffled up. He's got the card that he was dealt because of the when revealed effect on Kang's arrival. Kang has 15 hit points like he's supposed to, and he's tough. And I have my starting hand. I'm going to do the mulligan. I'm going to get rid of the webbed up and keep everything else and see if I can get a double resource. And I don't. I get a beat cop. I would like to get the beat cop into play, but more than that, I kind of want to get a Daredevil in. So I think that's what I'm going to work towards. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is put in a web shooter using his mental resource. And that will give him 3 web counters. And then, in order to use that, I have to be Spider-Man. So I'll go ahead and flip to Spider-Man. And he will, I'll use one of my web shooters for 1. I'm going to put Daredevil into play. So that's 1. And then Power Justice 2, 3. And Beat Cop 4. Because I want to keep the swinging web kick and the enhanced spider sense, I think. Daredevil's going to come in with 3. I'm not going to do anything with him right now because there's nothing to thwart, and I want him to be able to help with thwarting. So I will use Spider-Man, though, to attack for 2, to knock the tough off of Kang. And that's going to be it. So I'm going to ready and draw him up to 5. Okay, so the start of the main phase, we put 1 threat on the scheme, and it goes off at 7, just like with Rhino. So I want to keep an eye on that and be careful with that. He's supposed to attack, and he's going to attack with a base of 3, and I can add 2 on there. I can either put 1 threat on the main scheme or add +2. I'm going to put a threat on the main scheme. And since he did initiate attack, I get to draw a card, and it is another enhanced spider sense. All right, I'll just have Spider-Man take this one. It's going to be 3, 4 damage, so that's going to drop him from 10 down to 6. And then the encounter, I have to deal another encounter card. He's got to deal with 2 of them. The first one's going to be time travel tactics. Each player takes 1 indirect damage for each obligation in their play area. There isn't, but that will surge. And 2, the macrobots. They have guard and retaliate. All right, so they come in with 4, and I have to deal with them. And this other one, this last one will be depowered. You cannot play, this is an obligation. You cannot play hero-specific cards. Alter ego action, discard a hero-specific card from your hand, discard this obligation. That is not cool because that's all I have are hero-specific cards, and my enhanced spider sense won't let me cancel that because it's not a treachery. So we're back to Spider-Man. All right, that was a terrible card to get at the start because all I have are resources and hero-specific cards. So I'm going to have to flip to Alter Ego, and I could lose the game right here. But the first thing I'm going to do is have Daredevil thwart for 2 to drop the main scheme back down to 0. And I have the 1 damage dealt to the Macrobot, dropping it to 3. Spider-Man, let's see, they have guard and retaliate. I don't want Spider-Man really take any damage. He might as well, I'm going to have to flip, so he might as well just go ahead and flip. And I'll heal him for 3 back up to 9. And then I have to discard a hero-specific card from my hand to discard that obligation. And I'm going to do that. I'll discard one of these enhanced spider senses. I don't need both of them to get rid of this depowered. And that's, I guess I could just hold on to these. I guess I will. It only let me draw 1 card, but I don't really want to discard any of them. So I guess that's going to be it. I'm going to ready and draw 1 card back to 6. And we're going to move right on into the villain phase and hope that this doesn't end the game here. Hope he doesn't get in advance. So 1 threat on the main scheme. He'll scheme for 1, 2, 3. So that's going to bring it up to 4. And the Macrobots will bring it up to 5 out of 7. All right. And let's see. the encounter card will be Stolen Memories. Well, it's not in advance, but it's still going to suck. Place the top 8 cards of your deck face down under this card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, I can't get rid of it with Enhanced Spider Sense because it's not a treachery, so we'll do that. And the good news is I'm still in the game. The bad news is I lost 8 cards and he's at 5 out of 7 over here. So we're going to have to figure out something. But it is back to Peter Parker. And the first thing I'm going to do is use his mental resource over here to put spider tracers on the macrobots. And then, so I've done that, and then I'm going to use, let's see, discard a mental resource from your hand to discard that obligation. I will discard, actually, I can't pay for both swinging web kicks, I don't think. No. Well, actually, I could. Let's see. All right, I've been looking at it. I actually have the resources, and I can go right now and defeat the Kang the Conqueror on this one side because I can split the Spider-Man, have Daredevil thwart for 2, deal 1 damage to the Macrobots, have Peter Parker attack the Macrobots for 2, will defeat them and get the guard out of the way, and then I have, let's see, 2, 3, and I can use a swinging web kick, and then I can use web shooters for 1, 2, 3 to get the other swinging web kick and go straight to stage 2. And I wouldn't be able to get rid of the Stolen Memories, but I actually may do that. I think I am going to do that, just see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is have Daredevil thwart for 2 to drop this down from 5 to 3. And then the 1 damage will go to the Macrobots. I'll flip to Peter Parker. I'll flip to Spider-Man. Attack for 2 on the Macrobots to get them out of the way because they have guard. And then the Spider Tracers will actually remove 3 threat from this scheme. I didn't need to do that if I'm going to move them, but I had to get the Macrobots out of the way, and I didn't realize at the time that I have enough to move them. I think I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to swing in web kick with 2, 3. That's going to be 8 damage. And then I'm going to use the web shooters for 1, 2, 3 to get the other swing web kick. That's another 8. That's a total of 16. And that will defeat Kang the Conqueror on that side. So we're already going to be moving in to his stage 2. Let's see. When Kang attacks you, well, he won't do that. Advance the main scheme to stage 2 at the end of the phase. Well, that's all that I have that I can do. So that is into the phase. I'm going to ready and draw him up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we're going to advance the main scheme to stage 2. So this is going to remove. And let me get the stage 2. Stage 2A says when revealed, place 1 acceleration token here for each side scheme in play. And there is not a side scheme. Then discard each side scheme. Each player reveals a random stage 3A in turn order. Remove any unused stage 3 schemes from the game. Okay, so the random, if you haven't seen any, you can be the stage 3 can be the Chronopolis, the Realm of Ramatut, the Present Future War, and the Inexorable Fate. And I hope I get the Present Future War or the Inexorable Fate because I haven't fought those yet. I fought the other 2 in my last playthrough. So let's see what I'm going to get here. And it's going to be the Inexorable Fate. Good. So I will get to fight a Kang that I haven't fought before. And let's see. Create your own game area and place the scheme in it. Add Kang to the game area and deal yourself an encounter card. Kang Iron Lad. Okay. So let me get out Kang Iron Lad, the expert version. And here he is. He's going to have 22 hit points. 2 scheme, 3 attack. He has retaliate 1 and toughness. So he will come in with toughness over here. And as I said, he'll come in with 22 hit points. All right. And then let's see. I think scheme 2A is done. So 2B just says when an acceleration token will be placed on another scheme, place it here instead. So we'll do that. But for now, it kind of sits off to the side. This is actually going to be the main scheme. I have to deal myself an encounter card. And then the force response after this stage is completed. Place one set aside Kang's Dominion face down under stage 4A. If it completes, and at the end of the phase, remove Kang and this stage from the game and combine your game area with another game area. Okay, so it's going to come in with one threat, and that's what it'll start with. And so that was the end. That happened at the end of the player phase. So now we're in to his phase, and he will get one threat on the main scheme to start with. He is going to attack Spider-Man, so I'll draw a card and I don't get a backflip. So Daredevil's going to take this, and it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. So Daredevil takes a big hit for me. Thank you. And all right, so that's it for the attack. I'll deal myself a second encounter card and hope that I don't lose here, because I don't have any other way to defend any other allies to help me, although he does have a defense of 3. But anyway, the first encounter card is going to be Stolen Memories, another one. So place the top 8 cards of my deck face down under this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 16 of his cards sitting out here under these obligations. And then the other encounter card is going to be an Ancient Warrior. He has Quick Strike, which will be 2. So drop him down to 7. And he comes in with 2 health. All right, so I survived that round, and now I have a choice. I can try to defeat Kang Iron Lad, or I could let the scheme go off, but if I did that, I would get a Dominion, a Kang's Dominion. And so I have to make that decision. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is attack for 2 to get rid of this Ancient Warrior. Okay, I'm going to put in Under Surveillance on the main scheme over here using the Power of Justice to do that. And then I'm going to Concussive Blow with the last thing on my web shooter. So that's 1, Counterintelligence is 2, and then the other Concussive Blow is 3. It's going to confuse him, and it won't deal any damage because of his tough, but it will knock that off. Now, he does take Retaliate damage still, so that's going to knock Spider-Man down from 7 to 6. But that's okay, because I did that because I want to flip, so I can try to get my cards back in my discard pile. And so that's going to be it. I will ready and draw up to 6. Okay, so the start of the main phase, we put 3 here, and it goes up to 3. He's supposed to scheme, but he's confused, so he won't. All right, and then his encounter card is the T-Rex, which comes in with 6 health and a toughness. So now we've got a minion to deal with, and we are back to Peter Parker. And the first thing I'm going to do is generate his mental resource. And I guess I can use that for the Stolen Memory. It says to discard a mental resource from my hand. So no, I guess I can't use Peter Parker for that. But I do have Agent Coulson. As much as I hate to do it, I am going to use that so I can get my cards back. So that'll give this card those, and I don't have another mental resource, unfortunately, so I won't be able to do that again. Okay, and then I'm going to put in Counterintelligence with Strength, and then I'm going to use his mental resource and Spycraft here to put in Quake, which will bring her in with 2 health, and I'm going to use her ability to attack and knock the tough off the T-Rex. And that I'm going to hold on to Jessica Jones, and I'm going to heal with Peter Parker to bring him back up to 9. And so that'll be it. I'll ready and draw back up. And let's see, I won't have enough cards, so I'm going to have to deal myself an encounter card. I'll shuffle my deck, finish drawing up to 6, and then we'll move to the villain phase. Okay, so we have drawn back up the start of the villain phase. 1 threat here up to 4. He'll scheme for 2. 3, 4, so that's going to go from 4 up to 8, and that's 8 out of 13. So we got 8 out of 13 on the main scheme, all right? And then the T-Rex has a scheme of 0. He will scheme for 0, but from what I understand, Quake can still use her ability that after a minion schemes, exhaust her, deal 2 damage to that minion. From what I understand, she still can do that. And so I am going to use her ability to deal 2 damage to this T-Rex, and I hope that's right, but I'm pretty sure it is. So he schemes for 0, and then now I've got to deal with 2 encounter cards. The first one is Temporal Shield, attach it to Kang, and this is the one where when you discard the Temporal Shield, you prevent all damage from this attack and deal 1 damage to the attacker. So I got to keep that in mind. And then the other one is Energy Blast. Kang attacks you or alter ego. Discard an ally or support you control. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. All right. Well, I have an upgrade and an ally, so I'm going to have to discard Quake. And that's not too bad. She was just going to take a hit for me anyway soon. So we are back to Peter Parker. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do with him is put Black Cat into play with energy. So after I play her, I discard the top 2 cards of my deck, and please be a mental resource. Nope, Daredevil and Beat Cop. So I don't get the mental resources. She does come in with 2, and that's unfortunate. Because in order to get rid of the stolen memories right now, I have to get rid of either a swinging web kick or a stealth strike. And I really don't want to get rid of either one, but I can't afford to leave those in the game. So to leave that in the game, I got to get my cards back. So I will discard my swinging web kick because I have a plan for stealth strike if I can. Well, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to play either one of them this turn. So let me rethink that. All right, so I'm gonna flip. I'm not gonna get rid of this right now. I want to use my cards for something else. I'm gonna flip the Spider-Man. First things first, I'm gonna have Black Cat attack Kang Iron Lad. Oh, it'll be Retaliate 1. I don't want to lose her. So I'm gonna have Spider-Man hit the Kang Iron Lad. So it's gonna do 2 damage, but then you prevent all damage from this attack and deal 1 damage to the attacker. And then so that gets discarded. So I prevent the damage. He actually will take 2 because of the Temporal Shield and the Retaliate on Iron Lad. And I'll just leave Black Cat like that for now because I don't want her to be retaliated and defeat. Well, she does have 1 hit point. I'll do 1 damage to him, dropping him to 21. And she won't take consequential damage. She will take a Retaliate, though, to drop her to 1. And I'm going to use Stealth Strike and pay for that with the other 3 cards I have to deal 4 damage to this T-Rex. And because I defeated it, I can take 2 threat off a scheme, which will be that one, dropping it from 8 down to 6. And that's going to be it. So I will ready and draw up to 5. All right, so the start of the main phase, 1 threat here, goes up to 7. He's supposed to attack, so that will allow him to draw a card. And he's got 7 hit points left. He attacks with 3. Well, I hate to do it, but I'm going to put a Black Cat in front of this. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5. So she's gone. And then the encounter card's going to be Shadow of the Past. I do have an enhanced Spider Sense. I do not want him to come out. I know his menu's going to come out anyway in stage 3, but I don't want Shadow of the Past to come out. So I am going to use enhanced Spider Sense with, I guess, a Spider Tracer to pay for it, to cancel that. And so Shadow of the Past will not go off, and we are back to Spider-Man. All right, so he's got 21 hit points left, and I don't actually have to defeat him in order to move on to stage 3. I can let the scheme go off, but I really don't want to get a King's Dominion if I can help it. And I mean, I could just flip the alter ego and stay there, but that's not how I want to play it. I want to see if I can beat the King too. And I do have a swinging web kick, so I'm going to play it using the 3 resources that I have. It's going to do 8 damage to Iron Lad, dropping him from 21 to 13. And the Retaliate 1 damage will drop him down to 6. And then I'm going to flip to Peter Parker and go ahead and heal him back up to 9. And that's going to be it. And I do have a counterintelligence where it's 6 out of 13, so I think I'm still good there. So I'm going to ready and draw to 6. Start of the main villain phase. It goes back from 7 up to 8. I said it was 6, but I'm sorry, it was 7. We're at 8 out of 13. He's going to scheme for 2, 3, this card gains boost icon for each obligation in your play area. So he's going to scheme for 2, 3, 4, which would bring it 8 up to 12. I'll use counterintelligence to prevent 3 of that. So 1 will go on there instead of 4. It will be 1. So now we're at 9 out of 13. Okay, and the encounter card will be Macrobots. So they'll come into play, and they come in with Guard and Retaliate and 4 health. And we are back to Peter Parker. And I think the first thing we're going to do here, and since I'm in Alter Ego, I am going to use this mental resource to get rid of this Stolen Memories. So I can get these 8 cards back into my deck. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do, I would like to get the web shooters in, but I want to get the spider tracer in more than anything. So I'm going to put that in on the Macrobots with the web shooters. And then I'm going to put Nick Fury in using 1, 2, 3, 4 to get him into the game. And he'll come in and do the 4 damage to the Macrobots so they can be removed. And when attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from a scheme. So it's back down to 6, from 9 to 6. And then I'm going to have Nick Fury deal 2 damage to Iron Lad, which will drop him down to 11. I'm going to flip Spider-Man, have him attack for 2 to drop him down to 9. And that will cause him to go down to 8. But he's still got a decent amount of hit points. 8 out of his 10. So that's it. I will ready and draw to 5. Okay, so start of the main phase. 7 here. He's supposed to attack. Nick Fury's going to take it. He will get to draw a card. It's a backflip. I'll hold on to that backflip because Nick Fury's going to go out in the round anyway. So it's going to be 3, 4 damage. He's gone. And the encounter card is going to be Assault. So the villain's going to attack. I get to draw another card for that. I've got a backflip, so I don't care what he does. It's 3, 4, 5 damage. And I will backflip out of that. And we're good. We're back to Spider-Man. First thing I'm going to do is attack for 2 to knock Iron Lad down to 7. And that means Spider-Man's going to drop down to 7 himself. So they're both at 7. And then I'm going to do a concussive blow using Strength and Webbed Up for a total of 3. And that's going to confuse him. Deal 3 damage to him to drop him down to 4. And that will also drop him down to 6. And then I'm going to flip to Peter Parker. Put in Agent Coulson for 1, 2, 3. Agent Coulson will just take a counterintelligence and put it in his hand, I think, because I'm going to be able to get these 3 cards anyway, whatever they are. So I'll just put, I guess, a counterintelligence. No, I want a Spycraft, I think. Okay, so there's a Spycraft. I took that out of the discard pile. And then he's going to thwart for 2 to drop the main scheme down to 5. And that will drop him down to 2 health. And that's going to be it. I will ready, draw to 6. It's not going to be enough. So he's going to be dealt in a counter card. I'll shuffle his deck, draw up the last 2 cards, and then move to the villain phase. Okay, so reshuffle the deck, draw him back up to 6. We'll put 1 threat up here on the main scheme. He's supposed to scheme, but he can't because he's confused. We'll have to deal a second encounter card, so we got to deal with 2 of these. The first one is Time Portal, Forced Interrupt. When the scheme is defeated, shuffle it into the encounter deck instead of discarding it, and I'll get an extra card if I don't do something about it. And it comes in with 2 threat. And then the other one is going to be a Chitauri Soldier. All right, and he has a Force Interrupt. When he attacks, discard the top card in the counter deck, take indirect damage equal to the number of boost icons. All right, so we are down. He comes in with 3, and we're back to Peter Parker. The first thing I'm going to do is have Agent Coulson thwart for 2 to get rid of this scheme. And when this scheme is defeated, shuffle it into the counter deck instead of discarding it. All right, so I'll do that real quick. And I really want to keep Swinging Web Kick for stage 3. So I'm going to try to do that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Jessica Jones in with 1, 2, 3 for the Power of Justice. She'll come in with 3 hit points. I'm going to have her attack Iron Lad for 2, which will drop her to 1 for the consequential and the retaliate. But it'll drop him to 2. And then I'm going to heal Peter Parker up to 9. And then I'm going to put in a Spycraft, because I do control a spy character with Agent Coulson over here. I'm going to put it in with a Spider Tracer. And let's see, he's at 6 out of 13, so I could try to chance it, but I'm so close to beating him. I think I'll just flip to Spider-Man and take my chances there. I do have 2 blockers, so I'm going to draw up to 5 and then move to the next. I got a backflip. There we go. So now we'll go to the main phase. 7 out of 13 here. He's going to attack, and so Spider-Man gets to draw a card. He'll attack for 3, 4 onto Spider-Man, but I'll backflip out of that. And then the Chitauri Soldier is going to attack for 1. And then when he attacks, I discard the top card of the counter deck, take indirect damage equal to the number of boost icons. So it's going to be 1. Let me just go ahead. He's going to take that, drop him to 8. And then 2 boost icons. So I'll have him take both of those down to 6. And then the encounter card will be pinned down. When revealed, place 2 threat here for each obligation in play. And there's not an obligation in play, so just 2 threat. And that'll do it. So we will go back to Spider-Man. The first thing we're going to do with Spider-Man is Stealth Strike with Heroic Intuition, Concussive Blow, and Webbed Up. These 3 resources to hit this Chitauri Soldier for 4. And when I defeat him, I can remove 2 threat from his scheme, which is going to be this pin down. So we'll get that out of the way, so that it won't bother me anymore for the rest of the game. And then I'm going to use Jessica Jones to do the final 2 damage on Iron Lad, which will drop him to 0. And when he's defeated, remove Inexorable Fate from the game. So I'll do that. This Under Surveillance comes in my discard pile. That's gone. And then at the end of the phase, join another game area. So I'm not quite at the end of the phase yet. Jessica Jones, is done. I'm not quite at the end of the phase yet, because I'm going to flip to Peter Parker and heal him for 3, back up to 9. And now the phase is over already, and draw up to 6. Okay, so I'm going to join this game area, the Master of Time, and which means that when all players have joined it, advance to stage 4A. So I'm going to do that. I know Iron Lad's going to leave the game. And 4A says, when revealed, reveal Kang 3. So he's going to come in with 25 hit points and a toughness. Okay? And then reveal each face down Kang's Dominion under this stage. And there was no Kang's Dominion because I defeated Iron Lad. Then I'll flip to 4B. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck discard pile, set aside area for the Nemesis minion, and puts it into play engaged with them. Shuffle the encounter deck. And so Vulture's going to come into the game. He would normally quick strike, but I'm in alter ego mode, so he won't. He'll just come in with 4 hit points. All right, and then and puts him into play, engaged with them, and then shuffle the encounter deck. So I'll do that real quick. All right, and so that was the end. Oh, he comes in with 25 hit points, so I got a lot to chew through, but I do have a swinging web kick that I can use, so hopefully I can get it off. We'll see what happens on my next turn, but that's the end of Peter Parker's phase, and so we are going to go to the start of the villain phase. It will be 1 threat here. He's going to scheme for 3, 4. So that's going to bring it up to 5 out of 10. And then Vulture will scheme for 1, so it's 6 out of 10. Not real worried because I do have a Spycraft in case this is in advance, but I guess I could lose here. We'll see what happens. I hope not. I feel like I've been doing pretty well. But this one's going to be manipulated time string. When revealed, discard each event from your hand. If no events are discarded this way, this card gains surge, and that sucks. Going to lose swinging web kick, concussive blow, backflip, and for justice. all but 2 cards out of my hand. Terrible timing for Peter Parker for that to happen to him, but that's what happens. Nothing I can do about it. That sucked. So now we're back to Peter Parker, and man, I'm not going to be able to do anything that I wanted to do. I'll put counterintelligence into play with energy, and I'll have Agent Coulson thwart for 2 to drop this from 6 down to 4. And that'll knock him out of the game. And I may just stay as Peter Parker. In fact, I think I will. I'll just heal him the 1 point to get him back to 10. And leave him there. And hopefully I can draw up to something I can use on my next turn. Because I'm going to leave him there. I do have a counterintelligence. I do have a spycraft. I guess I could have used it on that treachery. But I forgot. So, I mean, it could have drawn into an advance and I would have lost. So we'll leave it there and draw back up ready and draw to 6. Okay, so start of the main phase, it goes from 4 to 5. Out of 10, he's going to scheme for 3, 4, 5, and that would make me lose, but I'm going to counterintelligence 3 of that. So he'll only put 2 on, so it's 7 out of 10, and then Vulture will scheme to make it 8 out of 10, and then the encounter card will be Macrobots. All right, they'll come in, they have guard, and they'll come in with 4 hit points. And we're back to Peter Parker. All right. There are a couple of different things I can do, but I really think the best thing for me to do is to put in under surveillance with 1. And it doesn't really matter, beat cop for 2. So now we're at 8 out of 14. I'm going to flip to Peter Parker and Stealth Strike with the other 3 resources I have for 4 damage to hit Vulture and knock him out of the game. And so because I do that, I can remove 2 threat from the scheme. That's going to drop it down to 6. And then I will thwart for 1 actually with Spider-Man to drop it down to 5. And that's going to be it. So I'll ready and draw to 5. Okay, start of the main phase. 1 threat here on the scheme. He's supposed to attack, so he'll get to draw a card. And I'm going to defend this. So he'll attack. Oh, when Kang attacks you, either place 1 threat on the main scheme or he gets +2 attack for the attack. So 1 threat on the main scheme. Okay, so he will attack for 3, 4, 5. And so 5 minus 3 is 2. That's going to drop him down to 8. And then the Macrobots will hit him and drop him down to 6. The encounter card will be depowered. You cannot play hero-specific cards. I could cancel that with my Spycraft. But then I might actually get... Well, if I do have enhanced spider sense, so if I get an advance, I can cancel it with that. So I will use Spycraft to cancel that. I don't want that obligation coming in. So the replacement will be a Chitauri soldier. All right, so just more minions to come in and mess with me. And we are back to Spider-Man. Okay, so on Spider-Man's turn, I'm going to put Quake in using Genius, and she'll come in with 2 health. And I'm going to actually have her thwart for 1 right now to remove a threat from the main scheme. And then I'm going to put in counterintelligence with enhanced spider sense and beat cop. And flip to Peter Parker. Use his mental resource to put in Aunt May. And exhaust her to heal him back to 10. And hopefully I can survive and make it in the next round. We're at 6 out of 14. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm going to ready and draw up to 6. Okay, so the start of the phase, we put 1 threat here up to 7. He's going to scheme for 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely using counterintelligence to reduce some of that. So 3 will go on here, and that's going to bring it up to 10 out of 14. And the Macrobots will, they will scheme for 1. So that's going to bring it up to 11 out of 14. And let me see if I can find a 3. All right, so that's 11 out of 14. And then the Chitauri soldier is going to scheme to make it 12 out of 14. I'm going to use Quake's ability to exhaust her and deal 2 damage to the Chitauri. And I'm doing this because I'd rather not take the damage. I know I got a guard here, but it may not matter too much because we have 12 out of 14 over here on the main scheme, and the card is going to be a Time Travel Hijinks. Discard the highest cost card you control, then place it face down here, and that is going to be Quake. So she'll go under there, and I can use an energy resource to get her back, but we'll see what happens. And we are back to Peter Parker. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put Mockingbird into play, using 1 for the mental resource and strength for 2/3. And that's going to come in and stun Kang. And she'll come in with 3 health. And I'm going to use her to knock off that Chitauri soldier so that we get him out of the way. And then flip to flip to Spider-Man. I'm going to use for Justice with Black Cat and Webbed Up because I want to keep Enhanced Spider Sense in case I need to cancel a Treachery. So that's only going to take 3 off the main scheme, but that's good enough for now. And let's see, I could hit the Macrobots, but I think what I'm going to do is actually thwart for 1 here to drop it back down to 8 out of 14. Try to get some breathing room, and we will ready and draw up to 5. Okay, start of the main villain phase. 1 threat here, back up to 9. He's supposed to attack, but he's stunned, so he won't. And then 2 damage from the Macrobots, dropping Spider-Man down to 8. And the encounter card will be a minion, Ancient Warrior. He is going to Quick Strike and come in with 2 health and Quick Strike and hit Spider-Man, dropping him back down to 6. But that's it. And so we are back to Spider-Man. I'm going to have him attack for 2 to get rid of this Ancient Warrior. Go ahead and get him out of the way. And then I'm going to put Nick Fury into play using all 4 of these resources I have here. And he's going to come in and get rid of these Macrobots with his 4 damage. He'll come in with 3. I'm going to have Mockingbird attack for 1 to finally get this tough off of King the Conqueror. And I'll have Nick Fury thwart for 2 to give me some breathing room. So a little bit more breathing room on the main scheme. So that's going to come down to 7. And that's it. And hopefully soon I'll be able to start doing some damage to Kang. But I'm going to be taking an extra encounter card because I'm going to draw up to 5. And I don't have enough. So I'll get the encounter card. I'll shuffle his deck. And then we'll move to the villain phase. Okay, so start of the main villain phase. It goes up to 8 out of 14 over here. And he is supposed to attack. I'm going to let him do the +2 attack because Nick Fury's taking it. So it's going to be 3. And you are stunned. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. So Spider-Man's stunned. He takes 3 damage. Nick Fury's gone. I'll deal the second encounter card. The first one is going to be Frozen in Time. Attach your identity. When you would ready, discard this card instead. Okay, so I have to remember that. And then the other one is Advance. And the game could be over with right here because we are at 8 out of 14. No? Well, yes, it could. Let's see what happens. And he'll scheme for 3. Just for 3. All right, so we get the advance out of the way. And it's going to go, let's see, 8 to 11. All right, and that'll do it 8 out of 11. Or 8, so now it's 11 out of 14. Thank you, Under Surveillance, for being in the game. And now we are back to Spider-Man. And let's see. The first thing we're going to do is attack with Spider-Man to get rid of the stun. And then I'm going to put in... oh, I didn't draw a card because of his attack. Spider-Man should have drawn a card when Kang attacked earlier because he took out Nick Fury. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, Stealth Strike. So I'm going to put in Daredevil with the Power Justice for 2, Heroic Intuition 3, and Spider Tracer 4. And then I'm going to Thwart for 2 to drop this down from 11 to 9. And the 1 damage will go to Kang, finally doing something to him, dropping him to 24. And that will put Daredevil at 2. And I'm not going to do anything with Mockingbird. I'll just hold on to these cards. I should ready, but instead of readying, I discard this card instead, so he'll stay down, but Daredevil ready, and I'll draw to 5. Okay, start of the main villain phase, back up, so it's 8, 9, 10 now. We're at 10, and he's going to attack. Mockingbird's going to take it, and I'm just going to add the +2, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mockingbird takes 8 damage there, and I forgot to draw again. So concussive blow. All right, and then the encounter card will be a Rampage. When defeated, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded and put him into play. And that comes in with 4 threat on it. All right, we're still kicking. We are back to Spider-Man. And I'm going to use Daredevil to thwart for 2, drop it down to 8 out of 14 again, and hit Kang, dropping him down to 23. Okay, and then I'm gonna concussive blow using Web Shooter, Beat Cop, and Spycraft for that. So it's gonna confuse him, deal 3 damage to him to drop him down to 20. And then I'm gonna flip to Peter Parker and use his mental resource and Stealth Strike to put in counterintelligence, and use Aunt May to heal him to get him back to 10. So he's back to full health, and we will ready and draw to 6. Okay, start of the main villain phase. Let's put 2 threat on this time because of this acceleration. So it's going to go from 8 to 10. He's supposed to scheme, but he's confused. And the encounter card will be a future weapon. So the next time he attacks, it gains overkill. And then you have to discard that, and it's +2 attack. So that's going to be rough. But we are back to Peter Parker. Okay, so I'm going to flip to Spider-Man. And I'm going to swinging web kick with For Justice, Webbed Up, and Surveillance. And then that's 8. Spider-Man's 9, 10. That's going to drop him from 20 to 10. And I'm going to hold on to Stealth Strike and Enhanced Spider Sense. And I'm going to call it good and hope that I can survive this round. He's got 8, 9, 10 here. It's going to go to 12. Probably going to put 1 on, so he only does 5 damage. But that's only get to 13 out of 14. So I think I have a chance to win. I do have an Enhanced Spider Sense. I can cancel an Advance and a Counterintelligence. So I'm going to ready and draw to 5. Okay, start of the main phase. As I said, this is going to go from 8, 9, 10 to 12. So let's move that. All right, we're at 12. And then he's going to attack, and it's going to have overkill. So instead, let's see, place 1 threat on the main scheme or get +2 attack. I don't want the +2 attack. So I'm going to place 1 threat on the main scheme, and that's going to bring it up to 13 out of 14. Spider-Man's just going to take it. So it's going to be 5, 6, 7 damage. That's going to drop him down to 3. Okay, and but he'll survive that, and then I'll deal myself the encounter card. It's going to get an acceleration token over here. Let me shuffle up the encounter deck. Okay, so the encounter deck's been reshuffled. Acceleration token is there, and the card is Advance. So I definitely don't want that to happen. So I'm going to use a Spider Tracer to pay for an Enhanced Spider Sense, and that will cancel the Advance. And we're back to Spider-Man. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do here to stay alive. Daredevil will thwart for 2. Spider-Man will thwart for 1 for a total of 3. And I'll just take it off the main scheme. That's only going to drop it to 10. It will go up to 13 next time. There's nothing I can play in my hand. So things aren't looking good. I got 10 health left. I got 3 health left. He has 10 health left. And I need to hold on to this Enhanced Spider Sense, I think. I'm going to discard the Webbed Up. And I'll hold on to Stealth Strike in case I get to use it. So then I think I forgot to draw a card again for Spider-Man, but it's too late now. I'm going to ready and draw to 5. Okay, so start of the main villain phase. 3 threat goes on it. We're at 10. It goes up to 13. He's going to attack again. So that's going to let him draw a card into Strength, which isn't going to do him any good. And and I can't put a threat on there, so I'm going to have to do the +2. It's going to be 5. I'm going to have to defend this. So it's 5. 6 minus 3 is 3, and that's going to be the game. Well, I was cruising through on side 1 and 2, but then when I got to stage 3, I really did get Kang's Wrath. It really started to turn against me. I probably made a mistake that one time when I didn't play Spycraft to get rid of that card, then maybe discard all those events, but I kind of forgot about it. And at the time, if I would have used Spycraft there, the next card could have been in advance and I would have lost then. So at the time, it really wasn't as big a mistake as it turned out to be. But then as the game went on, I just fell behind and Spider-Man wasn't able to do it. But I will say, much more fun, much more exciting game in this one than against the game I played standard solo with 2 heroes. Much more fun than that. I thought I would like Expert Kang on solo, and I did like it. I almost won with Spider-Man, got him down to 10 health, and came pretty close, but just wasn't able to pull it off. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and if you did, please consider to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell for any future videos that come out. One of the things I want to say is that Kang comes out, as you can hopefully see there, with it has 3 modular sets. I played with the Temporal today on Expert. It also has Master of Time, which is difficulty of 6. Temporal was a difficulty of 4. And then it has Anachronized, difficulty of 8. And I think I'm going to do an Expert game solo against Kang with the Master of Time. I'm not sure if it'll be Spider-Man. I'm not sure what hero I'll use, but I want to try it out and see how it goes. And so if you're interested in that video, be sure to hit the notification bell. And until the next time I put up a video, I'll save you a seat at the table. Goodbye.